here for MotoE Race 3 of 2022 coming your way very, very shortly indeed. With myself, Matt Dunn, and Neil Morrison in the commentary box. Fran Wilde down on the grid in pit lane, Parc Ferme, the roving reporter, just about anywhere you can imagine her to be in a MotoE paddock. Cannot wait for this one. 14 races, of course, in MotoE 2022, over 7 rounds that we've had previously. It is just a barnstormer. Riders already on the grid, ready for this one. Yesterday's qualifying was absolutely sensational. I'll tell you what, one of the riders that competed in it, he got straight through to Q2 from the free practice sessions. Well, it's Xavi Forés. He's qualified for, where is he on the grid? Xavi Forés is down in 10th on the grid here today, but we can expect big things from him due to his recent experiences here in the Le Mans 24 Hour, I think. Fran Wilde is with him down on the grid. How's you feeling, Fran?
I am. I just said what a difference a couple of weeks makes. Really different experience here at Le Mans for you so far. What are you expecting from the racers, and what's made that difference, because you're suddenly much further up here?
Yeah, for sure we are making steps forward, especially because my experience on the category is not that much. I need to get the rhythm. So starting from the mid of the grid will be good for me in order to stay on the group, in order to stay on the pack and try to get more experience for the race of tomorrow and also for the future races. But lap by lap, I'm feeling better with the bike, more familiar on the bike, and this is the important thing.
And you have an incredible amount of experience in motorcycle racing in general. How is it being a rookie and in a category where you don't get too much time either to adapt? Is it a new challenge for you in 2022?
Yeah, it's funny to be a rookie with 36 years old. But yeah, I'm enjoying the class. For sure I need more experience because during the winter test we didn't have so much time on the bike. But yeah, I'm enjoying. It's a very different kind of bike. But when you get the rhythm and you get the experience on the bike, it's a funny bike. So I will try to enjoy. I will try to stay on the bike all the race and try to get the experience for me and also for the team.
Well, thank you very much and best of luck.
Yes, thank you very much to Fran and Xavi Forés. Very good luck to him, absolutely. His experience around Le Mans in previous years, I think possibly helped him out a little bit, as it will have helped out the likes of Nicolo Canepa as well, who is actually just in the row in front of him as well. Neil Morrison, very warm welcome to the box. Real mixed bag in qualifying. You've got some proper solid contenders over there on the front rows. We saw Kevin Zannoni in the pictures earlier on. His first ever front row in MotoE. But my question to you, Neil, what are you expecting to see here today?
I'm expecting to see a close race, to be honest, Matt, because every time we've come to this French venue in the MotoE category, we usually have had really thrilling contests, especially in what we had last year. So, yeah, I'm expecting something pretty close, Matt. I say you could choose race winners from all the guys on the first 2 rows. But we're going to pass back down to Fran because she's managed to grab hold of the man who qualified 8th yesterday, Nicolo Canepa.
Indeed, and Nicolo, you're on the podium here in the 24-hour race earlier in the year, somewhere you've got lots of experience. You were straight through to Q2, and as Matt's just reminded me in my ear, but I already knew because we took you to the VIP village, it's your birthday today. So happy birthday and best of luck for the race. But what are you expecting from this in MotoE and with this lovely weather?
Well, thank you very much for the birthday wishes. Well, the weather is amazing, really hot condition, pretty much the same as yesterday. So I think we will run the same condition as yesterday, and I will try to gain some position. I know that the competitors are really strong, but I'll try my best. I know the track for sure. So
I was going to say, does the experience help? Is it definitely kind of giving you that positive extra?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know the track very, very well. I love the French fans, so I will try my best to be more in front.
And you do speak French, as we found out earlier, so great. Almost home race now. Best of luck.
Merci.
Yeah, merci beaucoup, Nicolo Canepa. I think he lives in Switzerland, actually, on the border of somewhere in Italy. Very nice. Very lavish lifestyle Nicolo Canepa lives. A world endurance rider, MotoE competitor, and also Yamaha Superbike rider coach as well, isn't he? So he starts from 8th on the grid here today. But Neil, whilst the safety car heads off on track, 5 minutes to race start, let's go through the grid, shall we? Because we've got Mattia Casadei on pole position.
Yeah, we do. Casadei came through Q1 yesterday. Had a bit of a complicated Friday in the free practice sessions, had a big crash at turn 1, then a big moment in Q1 as well, but still managed to put it on pole position. You have to imagine Casadei, after his showings in Jerez, is going to start as one of the pre-race favourites, if not the pre-race favourite. but I'm quite intrigued to see just how the man in third, Kevin Zannoni, we haven't really seen him up at the front of MotoE races so far, how he will do today. He's a bit of an unknown quantity.
In second place, so we got Dominic Aegerter. He was one of the last riders to set a proper flyer. He just came undone in the final couple of sectors after being up at the first, I think, second and potentially third splits yesterday. It was a cracking lap, but not enough to take pole position away from Casadei. He lost out by 1,000th of a second. It doesn't get any closer than that, really. And the modern time is going to 3 decimal points. I think that's the lowest you can possibly get. So that was as close as you like. Eric Granado takes off from 4th on the grid alongside Jordi Torres and Aegerter and Okubo. We just saw Hector Garza on there. He didn't make it out of Q1, unfortunately for him. But Neil, I mean, he's one of the hot contenders, but he's actually never been here before in Le Mans on a MotoE bike.
Yeah, absolutely impressive stuff from him yesterday in qualifying. Eric Granado in 4th, Matt. Is that Noman? He qualified 4th at Jerez and won 2 races there. We will have to keep our eye, of course, on a couple of names further down the order. We just saw one of them. In fact, we just saw this man here, Hector Garza. He is one of them. He qualified in 12th. What can Garza do from the 4th row of the grid?
Yesterday as well, I did actually speak to Eric Granado about his qualifying performance. I said, quiet day yesterday. Good, fine result, he said, and there is something about him this year. He is calmer and cooler. He's trying to keep his head more sensible, I think, as we see 3 minutes to go. Let's have a proper rundown of the grid then. This is the state of play after qualifying yesterday. Casadei from Aegerter and Zannoni, his first ever front row. Then Granado, Torres, your World Cup winner 2 times in a row, starts from 5th, and Aegerter and Okubo in 6th. That was a good lap from the Japanese rider yesterday. Can he get his personal best result? Maybe even a first podium in MotoE today. Matteo Ferrari, the inaugural World Cup champion, he heads the 3rd row of the grid in 7th from Canepa, and then Cardalus makes his debut for 2022. Forres, who fans spoke to right at the beginning, he starts from 10th alongside Alex Escrig and Hector Garza. The big friendly giant is Alex Escrig, as we've recently found out. Marc Alcoba heads the 5th row of the grid ahead of Mikel Pons. A disaster for him in qualifying, it really was. Maria Herrera on the outside of that 5th row, with Andrea Mantovani replacing Bradley Smith, who's continued to be out injured. Kevin Manfredi's alongside him, and Alessio Finello. An all-Italian affair on the back row of the grid. Well, now is the time for riders to enter full focus mode, aka the zone. Who will come out on top here? Mattia Casadei wants that first victory of 2022. He really wants to make a big statement here in Le Mans.
Yeah, he's still searching, of course, for his first victory in this category. And how great, Matt, is it to see that, the record crowd in attendance here has stayed around for the MotoE race at the end of the day.
Brilliant
Full house
stuff.
still along the front straight.
Yeah, thoroughly deserved, really is. Because, of course, the last 2 times you've been here, they've been sort of no fans, or there was a small number of fans. I think they were allowed at one point in 2020 or something like that. So, plenty of them at the campsite. They don't need to go back yet and start at the barbecues. It's 4:25 local time, and it's 1 minute to go before we are going to be going racing. Well, a little bit more than 1 minute, in fact. Tyre warmers coming off. This is about the time where adrenaline's starting to spike, heart rate's going up, and that's just the commentary box, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait for this one. Any last-minute predictions, Neil?
I have my eye on Aegerter and Okubo from the inside of the 2nd row. I think he's on for maybe his first podium in the class, and I'm interested to see what this man, Kevin Zannoni, in 3rd place can do.
30 seconds to go, and MotoE will burst into life once again for race 3 of 2022. It's all action from start to finish. It's 8 laps of fast and furious electric action. We've had 1 winner so far in 2022. Can this rider here, Mattia Casadei, top them all and be the rider on the top of the podium come the end of this one? The red flag will depart from the front of the grid. The green flag waves. We wait for the lights to come on and we'll burst into life once again. MotoE at Le Mans is go, and it's a clean start from pretty much everybody. Looks like very clean from Mattia Casadei and then Kevin Zannoni, but it's Kevin Zannoni who's got the whole shot here. The Italian will lead at Le Mans in towards turn 1, turns 2, and then who will be the last of the late breakers into turn 3? Here we go. Who will outbrake anybody? It's Zannoni who goes a little bit wide but maintains the lead. Casadei pulls alongside. Oh, it's a big crash in the background there. Who gone down there? Oh, dearie me. I think it's Torres who's gone down. There's a yellow flag out, and it's Casadei, his teammate, who is leading here.
Oh, really nasty crash coming out of turn 3. That's really what you don't want to have happen in this MotoE category. I think it was Jordi Torres who fell right in the middle of the field and was hit by 2 bikes following. So let's keep our fingers crossed that the reigning MotoE World Cup winner is okay.
Yeah, absolute disaster for Torres. I really hope he's all right.
And
it looked like Ferrari. He had a massive moment there at turn 7, and Aegerter almost had to take avoiding action. And then that's Okubo in the background there on the exit. It's drama all over the place. Who knows where to look? This is a Scrig going up the inside of Ferrari.
Wow, what drama then at the start. Also, our championship leader, Eric Granado, has gone down the order to, I think, 7th place. So he didn't have a good start or a good first couple of corners here at Le Mans.
Yeah, and we got news that Kevin Manfredi also crashed out as well. Not seen anything from with regards to Torres. We still got a yellow flag out there. We got a yellow flag in the 3rd sector as well for some reason. But hey, we're into the final sector of this first lap. It's the 27 of Casadei, 21 of Zannoni, and then you got the 78 of Okubo. It's positions 1, 2 and 3 for them, but it's all to play for position 4.
Yeah, it really is. We saw some really interesting lines from Hector Garzo back in the pack. He's not really managed to make any progress from his tough qualifying performance yesterday. Garzo, I think, is down in, well, he's outside the top 10 at the moment, or 9th he is. I think he maybe lost a few places there in the final sector as well.
Is that Manfredi off the back? It could well be. No, it's Torres. Something happened to Torres. Well, maybe he got caught up in that incident at the first turn. We've still got yellow flags here at turn 3 and 4 then.
Yeah, these guys have to be nice and careful. No overtaking going into turn 3. You can see Jordi Torres, well, there's no signs of the crash there, which means that Jordi's been taken off track, which is a good sign. Yeah, let's hope that Jordi is okay. But Casadei, basically, Zannoni and Okubo, through that madness, they've managed to really establish quite a big lead ahead of the rest of the pack, with Domi Aegerter bringing up the 2nd group.
Looks like 2 guys that also got caught up in the melee at turn 3, but Canepa and Cardelus both down 6 places on that first lap from their starting grid positions. You got Mantovani replacing Bradley Smith. He's moved up into 10th place. Garzo in 9th, and Pons just behind his teammate Granado. That's pretty much a disaster for Granado, starting from 4th, moved down to 7th. Pons, his teammate, from 14th on the grid, just behind him now.
Yeah, super progress from Pons early on. 14th on the grid, as Matt just said. That was a really poor performance from him yesterday. Couldn't get comfortable in the free practice sessions, but well, he's made a lot of progress. And what's going on there with that's Alex Scrig? Is there a problem for him?
No, I think he just completely outbraked himself and has to let several riders through. Someone else did the same in the background. No, it wasn't Kevin Manfredi who went down. We just have instant at turn 3. Forres and Torres were the riders involved. We still got yellow flags out in sectors 1 and 2. That's because it covers the sort of turn 3 zone.
Yeah, you have to imagine that Forres then was obviously had to take maybe avoiding action when Jordi Torres fell.
Here's what happened then. Torres, he had a big high side there and got clipped and clipped again. Oh, dearie me. So that was Forres who clipped him at the base there, and I think Canepa was the first one to clip him too.
I think Canepa ran over Jordi Torres' legs, and then he was hit afterwards by that man there, Xavier Forres. He did throw his hands up afterwards, so Jordi was conscious, but let's hope these he's all right, man. That was a nasty incident at the start of this race.
Yeah, you don't want any bikes running over your legs, really, do you? So hopefully we get some good news from Jordi Torres' camp at the end of this race. Meanwhile, it's good news for the other side of the garage, because it's 0.8 of a second that Mattia Casadei has in the lead. Here is Granado. He is currently in 6th position. He's moved up 1 place due to Alex Scriggs' problem and mistake, I should say, in the Shimano Buff S's last time around.
Yeah, we saw this in Jerez. Granado was a bit of a slow starter in both races. Didn't really get going in the first lap or 2, but then once he started putting down his pace, he was able to catch up with the leaders. But I would say that the gap towards the leader here, for example, is already much too big. I mean, Granado, when he came across the line, was 4 seconds off Mattia Casadei, so he's given himself a lot of work to do, and really, man, he doesn't give the impression that he has the speed to really improve in there. He does look like he's struggling a bit.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the pace then, because we've got 1:43.4, the fastest lap from Casadei. Well, that is the fastest ever lap that we've had on this particular weekend, I should say. What does that correlate to with the all-time lap record? One all-time lap record was previously a 1:43.4, so yes, we are pretty much on lap record pace here in MotoE in this very race, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, super impressed with the man in 2nd place at the moment, Kevin Zannoni, with a yellow flag in the final sector. We're not sure why.
I think it might be Mark Okubo who dropped down the order to 17th there on our timing screens.
Okay, so yeah,
right. Yeah, it's gone down, unfortunately. a lot of damage to his bike, so he's not remounted with that. Go ahead, Fran.
Hey guys, yeah, just a very quick update. Jordi Torres has been taken to the medical centre, so that means he has been taken there rather than just been advised to go. But the graphic did come up, crashed out, rider okay, so hopefully not too serious, but once we have a concrete update, I'll let you know.
Yeah, thanks very much for that.
Yeah, thanks, Fran. You can see Mark Alcoba not best pleased with what just happened there. He had a huge moment earlier on in the race, and maybe that was a mistake or a coming together, I'm not sure, but Mark looking absolutely nonplussed with the events in today's race, man.
Absolutely livid, but fair enough. He started from 13th on the grid, ended up in the gravel. He gets another crack at it tomorrow, does the Aspar rider, the open bank Aspar rider. Here is Granado then. Eric now into 7th place. He's got Garzo for company, his old sparring partner from 2019, and then his teammate just behind him.
Yeah, you can see Skrig has got back past Granado after he made that mistake in the previous lap at the Shimano Buff S's, and it looks as though Garzo is about to swallow him up as well. So, yeah, really subdued performance here from the number 51.
But with a 14-race series this year, I think this is one of those results which you can afford to let go. Better to finish here in 7th place than throw it down the road after you've had a run of 2 victories already.
On that note, if I could just interrupt again, it is a weird one, isn't it, with Eric Granado this year, where almost coming 7th would be an even more positive thing than trying to push for the win, given that that's what he's been searching for, with speed at many places more than a given, and looking for that consistency and more than anything, consistent points.
Well, exactly, and as you've been talking about, the Live Cup standings have come up on the screen to illustrate the point perfectly. It's 13 points then, as it were. If they stays like this for the end of the race, you've got 13 points separating Granado and Aegerter.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matt, we do have a bit of a race on the front because Mattia Casadei's lead has been trimmed now to 0.3 of a second. He must have made a mistake at the end of that lap previously just there, because he put in a 1:44.1. The guys behind him, well, Kevin Zannoni was around half a second faster than him on that previous lap.
So the Italian, the other Italian, the younger Italian, I think, can smell blood in the water then. So he's right on the back of Casadei now. That's what you need when you close down a gap that much. You see that tail unit coming closer and closer. Well, he really wants it now. It's 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, and the fastest man on track at the moment is actually Domi Aegerter in 4th position. So Aegerter and Okubo has a bit of a job on his hands keeping that 3rd place as well. We just saw, I think that's Garzo has gone up to 7th in the back of the shot. He's now ahead of Eric Granado, who's been pushed back to 8th. So yeah, not really seeing a repeat of Jerez, where both Granado and Pons were running up towards the front fighting for the podium positions.
You got Aegerter and Ferrari separated by about 0.7 of a second as well, but it is pretty close considering things. We're about halfway through now, 4 laps to go. Across the line, of course, it'll be 3 laps to go. Okubo, can he chase down Zannoni, or will he find Dominic Aegerter hot on his tail as well before the end of the race? Well, not with little moments like that. A little rear end twitch for the Japanese rider coming out of turn 12.
Look at this from Zannoni. He's right there now with his countryman. He is basically eradicated Mattia Casadei's lead completely as he comes across the line again. He was faster, 1/10 of a second faster last time around.
Marco Grana there, his crew chief, giving him the hurry up as well.
And this would be particularly sweet for the 658 Squadra Corsa team. They've never won a race in this MotoE Championship, and if they did this, it would be the man that left their team at the end of last year they would beat.
Yeah, oh, absolutely right. What a bit of irony that is for Casadei, leaving that team to go to the World Cup winning team 2 years in a row then. Can he hold firm here? It's under 0.2 of a second. Having said that, look at that then. Aegerter and Okubo has got Dominic Aegerter hot on his tail as well. 0.4 of a second quicker last time around.
Yeah, absolutely. Okubo is riding a fantastic race, but Dominic Aegerter is the man in this leading quartet that has the quickest pace, and you can see he's making all sorts of shapes.
Yeah, he really wants it.
Yeah, coming out of the Musée turn.
Oh, I thought that was going to be a move from Zannoni. Did we have someone down in the background there? We got a long lap penalty, Neil, you're pointing out there. So long lap penalty for Skrig. Is that going to be because of his shortcut earlier on?
It could well be, or it could just be excessively exceeding track limits, to be honest, Matt, because he was on the edge, wasn't he? They do have 3 strikes, and then you're right with exceeding track limits in this Model E class.
Worth noting as well, as we look at Alex Skrig on the timing tower to the left of your screens, he's got Garza, his teammate, just behind him, but then Pons and Granado. Granado being pushed back down to 9th now, so you wonder whether he's going to want to push on in the final stages of this race. But this one looking pretty blockbuster. The Italian job out front, Zannoni versus Casadei. The big question that Zannoni's going to be asking of Casadei is, how much of a late breaker are you? Typically, Casadei, your pole position sitter, is the last of the late breakers in MotoE, but what has Zannoni got anything up his sleeve here?
You rather fancy he does, the way he's managed to haul in Casadei. Casadei is basically, his pace has been dropping down. He's now doing 144.3s, which is being matched basically by Zannoni. And Okubo's pace has gone right the way down. He's now lapping it in the 1 minute 44 as Domi Aegerter, once again, the quickest man on the track by a considerable distance.
Yeah, by a fair way, and he's dragging Ferrari with him almost. He's done a 143.8. He is, yep. So we have a new podium contender then. Domi Aegerter wants full podiums across the board once again then in MotoE. He missed out just by a little bit in race 2 back in Jerez, and there it is, that confirmation. Shortcut at turn 10 for Alex Escrig, the young rider in the European Moto2 series. He will have to do a long lap penalty, or is this it?
I think that is Garzo going past.
That's Garzo going past him. But this, no, is this it? No, this isn't. This is just him getting overtaken by Garzo. Okay, well, a little confusing for us, but there we go. Garzo up into 6th.
Yeah, and it looks like Zannoni here could be shaping up for a move as they come towards the Shimano Buff S's. These guys need to be careful because Dominic Aegerter is not too far away. He's just a second off the lead pair at present. If they start getting tangled up in their own fight, Aegerter will be right with them.
Aegerter was around about 8/10 or 7/10 of a second quicker. This was the overtake in towards not even turn 1. That was turn 3 and 4. There we go. That is as neat as you like on a MotoE bike. Very well done, Domi. So here, this is the scene out front then. Zannoni really claws Casadei back in over the remaining 2 sectors, doesn't he? It's a second splitting them and Aegerter. 1 lap to go as they cross the line this time around. It's the young Italians battling at it for MotoE glory here. Casadei on the cusp of his first ever victory, but Zannoni gonna take it from him. He makes a move up into turn 1, but has to concede it. Who's gonna be the last late breakers into turn 3? It's gonna be Casadei keeping it this time around.
It's gonna be a brave man that outbreaks Mattia Casadei into the Dunlop chicane. You can see how strong he is on the brakes just there. Now, we didn't see anything from Kevin Zannoni in the first round that suggested he would be performing quite like this at the second round of the year. He was, outside the top 10 in both races.
Yeah, this is absolutely sensational from the young Italian. He's puts him in some impressive performances in the Moto3 Junior World Championship as a wild card, in the Moto3 World Championship as a wild card in years gone by. But this is absolutely brilliant from the Italian. I'm loving this all the way to the wire then. This is a braking zone, an overtaking opportunity. He pulls out from the slipstream, but Casadei got too much for him down into Garage Vert.
Yeah, it might be a mistake that gives Zannoni the chance to get by Casadei as we come towards the end, because he's so strong in the braking zones. I can't see Zannoni quite getting close enough to outbrake him. 27 versus 21. How about that? Here we come into the Shimano Buff S's. The overtaking opportunities are running out for Zannoni. How much of a drive can he get out of here? In towards turn 11 then. Casadei defending his line supremely, but Zannoni wants to have a look at the inside. He has another look. He doesn't quite make it. Is that opportunity running out? It could well be. This is going to be the last opportunity here. They're accelerating out of turn 12 into the Recordamont double right. This is it right now for the win.
He goes for the win. He tries to take it, but Casadei defends it supremely, and Zannoni's down. He asked too much of the front tyre, and it's Casadei for glory here in MotoE. The first time he's won a race here in the category. What a victory that was from Aegerter, and Okubo takes his first podium as well. What a race here to start us off in Le Mans.
Fantastic stuff there from Mattia Casadei, who defended brilliantly. And Kevin Zannoni, what a shame for him. That is really undeserved after a fantastic race. Comfortably the best showing we've had from him so far in the MotoE World Cup. And, the only thing we can say for consolation is he'll get another bite at the cherry tomorrow.
I think the consolation as well is he had to try. No one will take anything away from him for actually trying, but he just asked a little too much from that front tyre. There is a lot more weight on the front tyre this year due to the changes in, the development of the bike, essentially dropping 15 kilos, changing the weight distribution. He tried the limits, he tested them, he went over them, and the bike said, I can't do it, mate, I'm sorry.
I think in that situation, you've got to go for it, haven't you?
Totally.
He's taken such a step forward. And he's not the first Italian to push a little bit over the limit at Le Mans in recent years. So even the very, very best have just asked a little too much.
Yeah, absolutely. Zannoni qualified 12th at Jerez and finished 12th and 13th in the race. Yet here he was fighting from the front row, basically to the last corner of the race for the victory. So what a step up from the Italian. But, this is the man of the day, though. Mattia Casadei managed to turn it round after such a troubling free practice session, 2 free practice sessions yesterday, in fact. And, well, he put it on pole, led every lap of the race, and won for the first time in MotoE. Not a bad day at the office for him.
Well, Dominic Aegerter, another MotoE podium for him. He's still on the search for a victory for the first time since 2020 as well. Here's the Swiss rider. But that was absolutely brilliant from Casadei. That's how you want to take your first victory in style, I suppose. And Okubo as well, plus 16 points for him. He came into this round 5th place in the standings. And surely he'll move up as a result of that as well. Zannoni as well, Neil. I mean, he came into this round 15th in the standings, only 7 points to his name. I mean, brilliant, brilliant stuff. I cannot wait to see what we get up to tomorrow with MotoE. And a thoroughly deserved podium from Okubo. That has been coming. We've been talking about it in the qualifying sessions as well. Very, very good indeed.
Yeah, it has been coming, hasn't it? Okubo's best result in the class by 2 places as we go on board with the championship leader still. But that advantage that he had coming off Jerez has been greatly reduced. Eric Granado back to the drawing board, I feel, for him and his team later this evening. I think he made a bit of a move on the final. Well, this is with Mikel Pons. What happened just here?
Oh, and
contact.
Yeah. Contact down the straight are coming together with his teammate Mikel Pons. There they are. Oh, it's because Pons had a bit of a moment coming out of there. And, oh, dearie me.
Pons gives a look over to his left to say, what are you doing there?
You just had a moment, mate.
Yeah, that will have got Lucio Cecchinello's heart rate racing. Looking at that.
But here he is, the first time pulling into Parc Ferme, into P1. It's Casadei, his close mates Tatsuki Suzuki and Enea Bastianini are down there to congratulate him. Oh, we should have listened to Bastianini and his opinions on the bet for the race victory. So there we go, that is great stuff to see down there. Aegerter down with his crew as well. He'll be happy with that. That's a great performance from him.
Yeah, you have to say, looking how that race panned out, it was obviously a bit of a strange start with the crash for Jordi Torres on the first lap, and, well, the lead group basically got exploded apart. But once Aegerter got into his rhythm from around lap 3, he was comfortably, I think, the fastest guy on track, the most consistent guy as well, so that should bode pretty well for him tomorrow.
There is Bastianini with his mate Mattia Casadei, training partner as well, Kari Okubo with team boss Aki Ayo. Really good to see that. It's becoming he's sort of the quiet assassin as well. Fran, have you got an update for us?
Yeah, just a very quick one on Jordi Torres. I'm told it's not serious. He's being checked out for injuries, but rider conscious, and yeah, it's not a serious one at the moment for him. So great news.
Yep, that absolutely is good news, Fran. I guess, well, we had a precedent. We had a pretty ugly crash where Lukas Tulovic, to remember, had his leg run over at, I think it was one of the races at Misano.
It was, yeah.
And, well, he was racing the next day.
Yeah, he got it pretty, yeah, he fought through the pain barrier, but pretty well got away with it from serious injury. So, bit of luck of the draw, isn't it? So hopefully we get to see Jordi Torres out on track tomorrow. But meanwhile, there is his teammate Mattia Casadei. He'll be having a chat in Parc Ferme. We get to hear all about it. That was really, really impressive. And commiserations, obviously, to Kevin Zannoni. He won't be getting any of the spoils of the race finish, but I'm sure he'll get a hero's reception back in the Seat 58 Squadra Corsa garage. But for now, we give a hero's welcome to Hikari Okubo to a MotoE Parc Ferme. He's down there with Fran.
He is indeed. Well, Hikari, you said your goal in 2022 was to start getting on the podium. Congratulations, you're here. How does it feel?
Yeah, I'm very, very happy. It's a podium with my first target in this year. Sure, here is not goal. This is a start, but for me, it's very happy because today's race was not so easy because I tried to push hard and I followed to front of 2 riders, but they are more faster than me every lap. Also, Dominic Aegerter overtake me also last 2 laps. So I was thinking maybe I lost podium today race, but finally I'm here, so very happy. Also, this week I have two good news, because one news is I get podium, first time podium. Also, second good news is it's seriously my friend stay to live in dangerous place now is so now she's my friend is escaped to European place. So this weekend is two happy news. Also tomorrow race I try to more push hard. Also I try get win. But we'll see. I try to do my test tomorrow race again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hikari.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hikari Okubo. And then really great to see him in Parc Ferme. Touching words from him, and goodness me, it wasn't without moments and a couple of scares here and there coming out of the, I think that was the S's, wasn't it? Or is it the Gertzimmer? Garage Vert. I'm messing up my... Gertzimmer, that's in a few weeks, a couple of months. Let's go down to Parc Ferme once again and hear from Dominique Aegerter.
Well, Dominique, I'm sure you're happy to be back on the podium again, as you've got a nearly unbroken record of that this season so far, but also a great day for you in terms of the points, coming second and those valuable 20. How do you feel after that one, and how was the race?
Yeah, for sure, it's great to finish again on the podium as a second place. Important points, this 20. Yeah, I was expecting a little bit more fights, let's say, but the first 3 laps I was not really confident, because I had in the first lap 2-3 really big rear slides, so I needed to get some confidence back. But yeah, the Dinovolt Intag GP MotoE team, they make a nice job, and yeah, I can't wait for Sunday the race, and it's amazing to see so many French fans around the track. Now when you have no engine, you can really hear them when they scream and fan for you. So I try to show them a great show tomorrow. I hope the weather stays sunny like this, and yeah, we will try to put this electric bike back to the Parc Ferme.
Well, congratulations, Domi. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Fran, and thanks to Domi Aegerter. Second place for him. And as he said, he just couldn't quite get comfortable in those first 3 laps. A few big moments, a few big rear slides. We saw one of them actually when he was exiting Musée early on in the race. But once he did get that confidence back and that rhythm, he showed speed and the pace, which suggests that he'll be right in the running in tomorrow's race. We have race 2, of course, from Le Mans after the 3 Grand Prix finish tomorrow.
What time is that exactly, Neil? Just kidding. Mattia Casadei down in Parc Ferme with Fran. His first victory in MotoE.
I was going to say, really making a man wait there. Well, Mattia, congratulations. You said this season you wanted to make that step forward. New team, new start in MotoE, get podiums, but also that victory. And you did it today. Congratulations. How does it feel?
Thank you very much. It's amazing. I waiting this victory from the first year in MotoE. Finally it's coming, and it's fantastic. I do a very good race. I push a lot from the first lap, and this is good. I feel comfortable, and I'm happy for me and for my family, who believe in me a lot, and all my friends, my girlfriend, my team, because working very well, and it's a very great emotion.
Well, congratulations.
Well, thanks, Fran. 3 times the 3rd place finisher, 3 times a 2nd place finisher, but never a MotoE race winner before today. He managed to put that right. Maybe, Fran, you can blag a spare pair of those sunglasses if there is a set line around.
There's some true style, isn't there? Always some true style.
Italians, they just do it better. Depending on who you speak to. Number 27 then is a victor in MotoE. 4th year of running then, and he has been coming. He showed some real potential at the end of that first year, came on strong in the second, fighting for podiums, and thereafter as well last year. There he is, getting a handshake from Maria Herrera. She recognises the class of taking a victory in this series as well. Where did Maria Herrera finish? She got some of the last couple of points then, put down in 14th position. And we'll get ready for riders going up to the podium to celebrate the first race of the day. What is this then? It's a replay of what we saw at the start of the race. Jordi Torres, pushing Matteo Ferrari wide, and then he had a big crash. Got run over by Nicolo Canepa first, and then run over by Xavi Forés second. He has a look back to check how he's doing.
Yeah, and Jordi obviously in some discomfort there as he was being stretchered away, but Ryder was conscious, and as Fran said, no serious injuries. So we do hope that Jordi is okay, and maybe he'll be okay to compete. If not tomorrow, then back at the next round at Mugello. But that was a scary incident, man, wasn't it?
Yeah, very scary. The scariest of them all, isn't it, when a rider goes down in front of the pack in a big way, and especially when the bigger bikes there are tumbling into the same turns.
Yeah, and there was a few riders basically who got caught up in the aftermath of that, not just Canepa and Xavi Forés, but also I think Granado had to take a wildly different line to try and avoid Torres stricken on the tarmac. But here is the podium ceremony. The first time this man here has experienced it in the MotoE category. Aegerter and Okubo with a fine third place finish.
First time we've seen Aegerter and Okubo on a Grand Prix podium and a Grand Prix event, I think, as well, isn't it? So good for the Japanese rider. That's pretty special. Special as well for Dominic Aegerter, the Swiss rider. But ultimately, most special of all for Mattia Casadei, coming out onto the podium here at the Chartres Grand Prix de France. An Italian on the top step of the podium here, the first one in MotoE round 2. You get these newly revised trophies. This is Nicola Zandalasini, MotoE manager NLX way. Trophy number 2, ever so slightly bigger, goes to Dominic Aegerter. Another one for his collection.
Yeah, 9th time Dominic Aegerter has stood on the MotoE podium. That is a fine record when you couple that with what he's doing in the World Supersport Championship currently. It does tell you that he's having a very successful time of it. But this is the trophy for the winner, Mattia Casadei, lifting it from the middle step of the podium for the very first time, and it was well deserved. Casadei won that absolutely on merit. Led from the front pretty much every lap and defended well from his compatriot Kevin Zannoni in the closing stages. But now time for the national anthem.
Well then, finally, Mattia Casadei hears the Italian national anthem ring out for him here on a MotoE podium. What a special feeling that must be, with all the fans here as well, watching on. It's time to spray the bubbly, but don't drink too much. We got another race tomorrow as well. Race day, heading into the Grand Prix of France here. Round 7 of the MotoGP World Championship, round 2 of the MotoE World Cup. That was very, very fun indeed to watch.